does brainwashing work? The right wing attacks so many of the different things that bring you facts: the media, scientists, professors in their ivory towers, journalists, and now science itself, and the list goes on. Well, in the case of global warming, Donald Trump's been doing this a long time, even before he ran for president. Back in 2014, he tweeted out, this very expensive global warming, I don't know why that's in all caps. Anyway, this very expensive global warming BS has got to stop. Our planet is freezing, record low temps, and our GW scientists are stuck in ice. That was a news story back then. Was it true that we had record low temperatures across the world? No, not remotely true. If you look at the temperatures, that is not in dispute. There is an actual temperature reading that we all take, and I believe the hottest 10 years have been in the last 11 years. And I've shown you these charts over and over again. The temperature continues to rise across the world, so it is just demonstrably false. But that's never stopped Donald Trump before. In fact, back in 2012. This is where he invented the idea that it was a Chinese hoax. He said the concept of global warming was created by and for the Chinese in order to make US manufacturing non-competitive. So that is, of course, a lunatic conspiracy theory, but now the guy is president. So he keeps repeating it over and over and over again, and is it gonna work? That's what the thrust of this story. Well, I'll get you the numbers in a second, but now that he's president, he's actually putting all this into effect as well. Trump's administration has replaced or changed references to climate change or renewable energy on websites across the federal government, studies showed. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, recently omitted any reference to climate change, sea levels rising, and global warming from its 4-year strategic plan. So now that is political correctness on global warming. You're not allowed to say what is scientifically correct. You must say what is politically correct, which is what Donald Trump believes, which is that global warming is not true. Now, do they actually believe that, Donald Trump? Well, nobody knows what Donald Trump actually believes, including Donald Trump. But the Republican Party largely, of course, does not believe that, the officials. But they are paid through campaign contributions and eventually lobbyist jobs when they're out of office by the fossil fuel industry to put out this propaganda that they know is lies. Because unlike Donald Trump, most of the other Republican officials are not that dumb, and they see their campaign check coming in from ExxonMobil and the giant lobbying groups for oil and gas, and then they do as they are told. And they tell you, oh, well, the temperatures might be rising. Some of them even deny that, but it's not man-made. Exxon told me it's not man-made. Now, in reality, as I've shown you in previous episodes, ExxonMobil, back when it was just Exxon, knew that climate change was real, it was gonna happen, and they've known it for decades and decades, and they covered it up. So, nonetheless, we have a political battle and debate in this country over things that are not debatable. They're facts. So let's look to see if it has gotten worse in the era of Trump. Well, Newsweek reporting here, just 35% of Republicans believe global warming was caused by humans, compared with 40% at about this time in 2017 when Trump had barely taken office. So like the ice caps, support for the idea that global warming is real is melting, at least among the Republican voters. So in just 1 year, he knocked it down from 40% to 35%. So people who previously thought that global warming was real heard Donald Trump say it isn't real, and they're like, well, I guess it must not be real then. I guess Donald Trump is smarter and a more stable genius than all of the world's scientists. Well, I'm sad to report to you guys that propaganda does work. So now on the other end of the spectrum, among Democrats, a full 89% of Democrats, meanwhile, believed humans cause global warming. Now you could say, well, look, then you could say the Democrats are brainwashed because the Republicans believe one thing and the Democrats believe another. But the Democrats are, first of all, saying things that scientists are saying. It's like saying, well, you've been brainwashed to think that 2 + 2 = 4. Well, there's a pretty good reason for that, because it actually does equal 4. So you say tomato, I say science. By the way, that 89% number is not comforting. The reality is, as I'll show you, on average, 97% of the world's scientists say that not only is global warming real, but it is man-made. So actually, the number should be higher for Democrats. It's too low for Democrats, let alone Republicans. All right, now let's give you more context and more contrast between Republicans and Democrats. 33% of Republicans said they worried a great deal or fair amount about global warming in Gallup's 2018 environmental survey. That's the survey that I've been quoting throughout. Down 3 percentage points from the year prior. 91% of Democrats were worried a great deal or fair amount. So it's just a different way of phrasing it. And I was actually heartened to find out that 1/3 of Republicans have not lost their mind yet. That's a little bit of a surprise to me. One more piece of context on that. 69% of Republicans thought the seriousness of global warming had been generally exaggerated, an uptick of 3 percentage points from the year prior. Only 4% of Democrats said global warming had been exaggerated. That's an amazing number. I'll come back to that 69% in a second. Some Republicans also doubted most scientists believe global warming is happening. Just 42% said most scientists believe global warming is occurring, down from 53% last year. So let's think about those two amazing numbers. Last year, 53% of Republicans think that at least scientists say that global warming is happening. Now, 11% of those folks, actually a higher percentage if you do the math, but 42% now go, yeah, I still believe that the scientists think that, although some of them don't believe the scientists. But that chunk in the middle there was like, I no longer think that the scientists are even saying it. Why? Based on what? Has there been a new study out that show you that scientists don't actually believe that? No, Donald Trump just kept saying it over and over again. So whatever Trump says, I believe. Dear leader says there's no global warming, then I don't believe it. And I believe all the scientists changed their minds. Look, I think that most of them have not spent a lot of time thinking about this issue. Certainly they have not spent a lot of time researching it. I hesitate to call people dumb. I think that's overused. I think that they're generally ignorant. And unfortunately, when you're in certain tribes and that ignorance has set in, it is incredibly easy to manipulate you. And look at that number, 69% of Republicans thought the seriousness of global warming had been exaggerated. 7 out of 10 Republicans looked at all the world scientists and said, scientists, what would they know? So let me show you what the scientists actually believe. This is from the publication Skeptical Science. They actually are quoting 7 different studies that studied all the other climate change studies. So these are meta studies and their conclusion of all of the research on this topic. Depending on exactly how you measure the expert consensus, it's somewhere between 90 and 100% that agree humans are responsible for climate change, with most of our studies finding 97% consensus among publishing climate scientists. And number 2 conclusion is the greater the climate expertise among those surveyed, the higher the consensus on human-caused global warming. So that's where you get the 97% number from. And depending on how you interpret it, it could be all the way up to 100%. But let's just stick with 97%. So finally, think about this. 7 out of 10 Republicans believe that 97% of the world's scientists are making it up. Scientists from Pakistan and Botswana and the United States and Venezuela and Finland and Japan, all across the world, all those scientists got together and decided, oh man, we're gonna prank the hell out of the whole world. We'll make up temperatures. We'll say all this, the scientific method we were taught. We're just kidding, man. Let's do one giant hoax. Let's pretend that the temperatures are rising and that it'll have these effects. And then people will actually see those effects with their own eyes. Massive storms, massive fires, the droughts, etc. Man, we'll punk the hell out of them. If they thought about it for a second, I think that I'm hoping that a lot of them would realize how monumentally preposterous that is. But they don't think about it for a second. Whatever dear leader tells them is what they think. By the way, all of this comes back to money in politics. Because if the Republicans had not been bribed all along through campaign contributions by the fossil fuel industry, if we did not allow that, There's no reason why they would have done the propaganda in the first place, because they're on the same planet as us, and the planet is melting. And it is endangering all of us and our families from here on out. But as long as they keep getting those campaign contributions and those legalized bribes, they're gonna keep lying to you. And guys like Donald Trump are the masters at lying. And at the end of the day, that has convinced about 35% of the country and an overwhelming majority of the Republican Party that science is not real. You just watched a video by the Young Turks, home of the revolution. If you'd like to get a lot more than that, get the full show by becoming a member. tytnetwork.com/join.